The home side, you can see Captain Aziz Bajic and Hiroki Sakai, the Auckland FC skipper, on the Isuzu UTE tunnel cam. Melbourne City, this is their 7th and final match in a row at Amy Park. It's been a massive run where they were hoping to launch their charge up the table. Just one win in their last 6 matches. There is a famous face, Johnny Van Schip, the former Melbourne City coach, catching up with Steve Corica, a Dutch legend of a player as well, Johnny Van Schip, before moving into coaching. Melbourne City have scored just 3 goals in their last 6 matches here at Amy Park. They need to break that scoring drought. Just the one win that came against Brisbane. They're taking on an Auckland side undefeated away from home this season, with 4 wins and 2 draws, who were merciless in their 2-0 victory over Brisbane last week. Auckland have scored in their last 11 matches in a row in the league. 3 changes for Melbourne City coach Aurelio Vidmar. Liam Bonatig returns for Samuel Suprayon, still hampered by that Achilles injury, although it's deemed, again, nothing too serious. In midfield, new signing Ryan Teague is straight into the starting 11 at the expense of Zane Schreiber. And up front, Max Caputo comes in for Andreas Kuhn, who's suffering a knee niggle but is fit enough for a place on the bench. He'll move up front into that central role with Mehmeti and Naboot on the flanks. Matt Leckie, Kanamori, Rashani and Rahmani all still sidelined with injury. And there is 23-year-old Ryan Teague, the former Sydney FC, the former Melbourne Victory man more recently, and after just 6 months at Belgian club Mechelen, who are doing pretty well. They're sitting 5th in the Jupiler League at the moment. He has returned looking for game time. He played just 36 minutes in the first 6 months of the season for Mechelen. His last A-League match, well, it was last year's grand final, where he was beaten by his current employers. For Steve Corica, just the one change. The defence remains as is. The change comes in midfield. Felipe Gaigos returns at the expense of Cam Howison. Up front, Logan Rogerson makes his 50th A-League appearance. The trio alongside him, Lockie Brooke, Sam Cosgrove and Jesse Randall, have 14 goals between the 3 of them. That's 2 more than the entire Melbourne City side this season. And Melbourne City have played 1 more match as well. 26-year-old Nando Pineacre, he's making up for lost time at the moment. He missed the start of the season with an ankle injury that required surgery, picked up during the Australia Cup. It's his 3rd start in a row. He scored in both games last season against Melbourne City. 1 into his own net in the 2-2 draw, and then part of that 3-0 victory. There is Aurelio Vidmar, who is still looking for that elusive balance at the moment between his side, which is defending well but not creating much. And you can see the wind as well at Amy Park this evening. It's a little bit New Zealand weather, some might say. Steve Corica, the Auckland coach, he will be looking to continue his battle. 2 of the most experienced coaches in the A-League currently. One of our less experienced referees, the West Australian Shane Skinner, taking charge of this one. It's the first time he will referee Auckland in the A-League. He's being assisted by George Lacrindis and Alessandro Lana. Jonathan Barrero is the 4th official, and there in the VAR room, Andrew Mamarakis and Casey Rybelt. Big night for Ryan Teague. Last time he was on this pitch was on the losing side for Melbourne Victory in the grand final. It's the champions versus the premiers. And while Auckland FC are certainly living up to the billing and can move 5 points clear at the top of the standings with a win this evening, the same can't be said of Melbourne City. Just 1 win in their last 6 matches. 3 goals only in that time. Daniel McBreen, this is a real clash of philosophies as well. It's a direct, powerful, tough Auckland side against a Melbourne City side that have been passing themselves almost to the point of exhaustion this season.
Well, you're right, Robbie. Good evening, everybody. This is the period where we thought Melbourne City, they don't have the Asian Champions League, 6 games at home. We thought this is where we'd see them start to shine. Well, it hasn't really gone that way.
And the first attack is an Auckland classic, the De Vries long throw, which City get clear.
We spoke about Melbourne City's recent performances. They only scored more than 1 goal in the league twice. You have to go all the way back to October and November. Since then, it's been very difficult in that front third. Auckland, on the other hand, well, they just do what Auckland have been doing since they came into the league. Sitting at the top, looking down on everyone else and saying, catch us if you can.
And part of the key to the success is their set pieces. They take this one short with De Vries. Here's Jesse Randall. Had an outstanding start to the season. Jesse Randall, he has 4 goals so far this campaign. Messrs Brook and Cosgrove have 5 apiece as well. Jesse Randall, who struggled for game time, struggled for the back of the net last season. Well, he scored in his first 3 cup matches this season. It forced his way into the all-white side, and he'll be hoping to be on that plane to North America come June. As New Zealand are back on the big stage. Also one of the reasons why Ryan Teague has returned to the A-League as well. Just 5 appearances off the bench for a grand total of 36 minutes with Mechelen. There was an injury in there as well, which kept him out for a long time, but Mechelen are a side that are fighting for European qualification in Belgium at the moment, so he obviously felt it was going to be too hard to force his way into that team. He wants to be going with the Socceroos to the World Cup as well.
Well, getting regular minutes for footballers is important at any stage, but 6 months out from a World Cup, it's never more important, is it?
Lockie Brook might be eyeing off that situation as well.
Well, he's not doing himself any harm with his performances recently.
The Strata, no foul, as he was bundled over by Kai Truan. Speaking of new faces like Ryan Teague, Hiroshi Ibasuki has just been confirmed as a Western Sydney Wanderer. Signing from East Bengal, the former Adelaide United and Western United striker, the Japanese veteran, looking to solve Western Sydney's scoring woes.
I'll speak about scoring woes. They sit at the bottom of this goal scorers charts, Western Sydney. It's a great boost for them. Hiroshi Ibasuki, he knows how to find the back of the net in the A-League. I'm sure we're looking to do the same.
Ooh. 2 players sliding in there now. Gyagos, the boot is not happy. Gyagos is a fiery character himself. He's picked up the yellow card. Felipe Gyagos.
Yeah, you can see there Kai Truan holding the knee. They'll slide in. Well, he's not in the air, is he? He does put the foot out. I think the referee may have got this right here.
It looks a painful one.
It did connect him on the knee. I think you can see.
Well, you can see the reaction of the other players as well. Gyagos is not one for taking backward steps, but they've had their fair share of injury problems so far this season, Melbourne City. And Kai Truan looks in real discomfort there. And if you've got a stud inside the knee, VAR, we're being told, are having a look at it.
Well, as they always do. That's one thing. You check everything. Any challenge that goes in.
Well, that check is over. No serious foul play.
Well, I think the fact that he was on the floor, he wasn't in the air. His leg, it wasn't like a lunging motion. He sort of held his leg out, didn't he? It wasn't like he... Well, this angle might be even better to see. He was sliding there. he actually tries to go with the blocking motion, doesn't he?
It's hard to see. In fact, it's the other foot that catches the left knee,
leading knee
at the end of that move. So yeah, just an unfortunate one. There is, of course, accidental contact in football. That happens. Kai Truan not happy.
He just says, no, it doesn't.
He's listening.
And I'm sure once he gets his legs going again, he'll be fine.
Another one that wants to be heading to the World Cup as well, after that outstanding debut during the last window against Colombia and Venezuela. He had to wait. He'd been called up for a couple of windows before then. Here's Aziz Bayic. Barring injury, certain to be on that plane. Randall loses out to Atkinson. Oh, now he's caught by Sam Cosgrove. Referee says nothing wrong with that. Well, he's setting the tone. The referees let a couple of 50-50 challenges go. He's called up the one where Kai Truan was injured. Patrick Beach. These two sides both conceded 11 goals so far this season. That's less than the number of matches they've played. Second in the league, only to Brisbane. Who sadly will be without their coach, Michael Valkanis, this weekend. Who's headed back to Greece for a family emergency. We hope that everything is okay for him and his family, and that he will be back soon enough. Neman Jurakovic, back in a more deep-lying midfield role today, has caught that one on the volley from Hiroki Sakai.
Oh, there you go. Turned straight into that one. Almost didn't have time to react.
Right on the jaw.
Yeah, I was going to say that when you don't have a chance to react and it hits you right on the jaw, that's when it can really cause you problems. You see boxers when they get clocked on the jaw and they don't see it coming.
And already in the wars a little bit, Melbourne City. They can ill afford to lose too many more, even if Ryan Teague has arrived. Kai Truan still checking out that left knee. Andrew Nabut has come across for a little chat with Aurelio Vidmar. He's been very good. Him and Jurakovic the last few weeks, playing either as a 6, an 8 or a winger. Well, let's head down. We've got Jake on the sidelines for us, Barkadesh. Jake, what have you heard down there?
Well, Robbie, we just saw Kai Truan just come over to the bench and have a chat with assistant coach Scott Jamieson and head coach Aurelio Vidmar. He threw a towel to the ground in a bit of disgust. They've been looking behind the goals there to see the players warming up. They sent Lawrence Wong and Zane Schreiber down there. So it'll be interesting to see just how this plays out. I think they're going to give Kai a few more minutes to have a go here, but it looks likely that they might be going to the bench before they would have liked.
We can see there, Robbie, it's actually a clash of knees, wasn't it? The leading knee that he went down on that came together.
He doesn't look confident, does he?
No.
Kai Truan. Good news is that Jurakovic looks okay to continue. Lockie Brook with the little word. Lockie Brook also trying to see how serious it is, if he can take him on one-on-one. Dan Hall with Sakai. He looks long. Cosgrove bundling over Bonatig. That's the bustling striker role that he loves, isn't it? He'll find some answers in Herman Ferreira.
Well, exactly right. Whenever there's a challenge to be made, he likes to be amongst it. Guilherme Ferreira saying, well, anything you can do, I can do as well.
That'll definitely be one to keep an eye on. So will that. Max Caputo against Nando Pineacre. Unfortunately, there are those two. Not too many backward steps being taken there. At the other end, unfortunately, I was going to say, for Max Caputo, they've hardly had the ball up that end of the field.
Well, as we tick over to the 12th minute, it doesn't feel like the game's even got started, does it? A couple of stops for injuries.
They met twice last season. A 2-2 draw here at Amy Park, and then a 3-0 victory for Auckland in New Zealand. Guilherme Mai scored in both those games as well, home and away. He's on the bench, the Uruguayan forward. Francis de Vries played every single competitive match in the history of Auckland FC. Match number 41 in the A-League, to which you can add a handful of cup matches as well. Oh, and you can see how physical it's gotten already. Nathaniel Atkinson. Now Nabut charging forward. Early cross is turned behind, so first corner of the contest for the side that has more corners than anyone else in the competition, Melbourne City.
Well, he's done well there, Andrew Nabut, to get the corner. He had no support whatsoever central. His persistence gives them the opportunity.
Ryan Teague immediately the set-piece specialist for City with that left foot. In it comes. It's a good ball as well towards Caputo, who's wrestled to the ground by Dan Hall.
Well, he's asking the question, isn't he? Did Dan Hall impede his run? I don't think there's much in that at all. Dan Hall's actually facing the ball with his back to him. It was a good ball into a good area, wasn't it?
And with that wind as well, I just feel that it's not going to be the easiest of nights for the goalkeepers at the moment. Michael Vout and Patrick Beach up the other end. Cosgrove winning that header above Ferreira. Bonatic does well. Forward to Caputo. Caputo gets it back. Teague. Atkinson. And here's Bonatic again. Jurakovic closed down quickly by Verstraete. He's been outstanding this campaign, the big Belgian number 6 in the middle of the park for Auckland. One of 3 players to have played every minute so far this season for Auckland, along with De Vries on the ball there and the goalkeeper Michael Vout. Caputo couldn't find Ryan Teague that time. Patrick Beach not taking any chances, goes long. A win for the home side, Melbourne City, and they would move provisionally 3rd ahead of the rest of the weekend's matches. Matches that continue this evening when Perth Glory take on Brisbane Roar. And then tomorrow afternoon, Western Sydney against Newcastle. The Mariners against MacArthur. And the main game at 7:30 Eastern time. 7:05 local time. Adelaide United against Melbourne Victory in the original rivalry game before Sydney take on Wellington on Sunday. Bayich, early ball. But nobody in those areas for Melbourne City.
Well, still very much a midfield battle, isn't it? Filling each other out. It's a couple of crosses now from Melbourne City into the area. No one really in those areas as they've gone early with the cross.
Melbourne City have survived the first 15 minutes. Statistically, at least, have still got another 15 to get through unscathed, because Auckland score a lot of goals early, 9 in the opening 30 minutes of matches so far this season. That's almost more than City have scored in total. They've got 12 from their 13 matches so far. De Vries, a little touch. Messi Randall closed down too quickly by Atkinson. Here's Dan Hall. He looks towards Sakai. Nicely done. Down with Rogerson. A-League match number 50 for him this evening. He gets it back from Sakai, and he goes again. Sakai, as is Bajic, straight out of the fullbacks textbook there. Stay with your runner.
Really realised Sakai had taken off, and there was no way the return pass was going to get there. Well, Auckland, 2 players just wandering out. You can hear.
The cross in, it's plenty of power on it. It was touched all the way back to Cosgrove, who goes down looking for a penalty. And the offside flag means that we don't even have to worry about that.
But it was a little sloppy from City, wasn't it? You could hear the calls, 2 on the ball out wide, and they were just so slow to get out there. And then De Vries, you know what he's capable of with his delivery, and you can see that clearly in an offside position. Sam Cosgrove.
Hard to see what the contact was there with Andrew Nabbout as well.
I'm wondering if when Nabbout clears, he just...
Oh, maybe just... In fact, it's not Nabbout that clears, it's Cosgrove that got the touch, which explains a little bit more. Bonatig has to stretch, but he will get there. Looks back inside with Teague. Is there a foul there? No. Oh, in the end, yes. Only just. Guy Gossenbrook not happy. De Vries again for Jesse Randall. Now he is lightning quick, Jesse Randall. City have to be quickly across in cover. Is he caught there by Atkinson? Yes, he is. Set piece, and this will be another danger for Melbourne City.
Well, he's been very good this year, Jesse Randall. Does well there, and he just pokes the ball out the way. Nathaniel Atkinson, a little late to the scene, just a clip of the foot.
Now Randall standing over this free kick, as is De Vries. De Vries leaves it. Randall delivers. It's poorly struck. De Vries unintentionally finds Brook, who whips it in. And again, the flag is up for offside, so City's defensive line is working pretty well at the moment.
Well, that hasn't been their problem this season. It's been at the other end. There hasn't really been too much penetration, has there? Been plenty of possession, plenty of ball movement. And just can't quite find those really good opportunities in good areas.
When they look long, it is going to run out eventually, out for a goal kick. Melbourne City, they are the most prolific passers in the competition, the only team with more than 7,000 passes made so far, and most of them come in the opposition half, but that certainly hasn't been the case so far this afternoon. Perhaps the absence of Andreas Kuhn is prejudicial in terms of that little statistic, but Auckland at the moment, who normally play without the ball, not one of the passing sides and possession-based sides in the league, are really taking the game to City at the moment.
Well, Andreas Kuhn is a big loss for Melbourne City. We had spoken off air, hadn't we, Robbie, that we thought he was a little off the last few weeks, and now we hear that he's been struggling with a little bit of a knee injury, which you can see now may have been, or was definitely the problem there. And despite that, still the player in the league who creates the most opportunities from open play.
Look at the press from Auckland, and they've got it back. Gallegos wanted the throw, didn't get it. And you see there how quick they are, and unfortunately for Kai Truan, that injury sustained in just the 4th minute of the match. Looks like it's going to be the end of the night for him. He missed one game when returning from the Socceroos, Kai Truan, but otherwise he's played every single minute. You'll see it here, the left knee of Kai Truan and the right knee of Felipe Gallegos. Nothing intentional, nothing really untoward, but probably just caught him at a bad angle.
Well, I think it's also the way that his knee buckles when they come together, almost as though it pushes the knee out from the ankle.
Well, it will be the opportunity for Zane Schreiber to come into the game. Zane Schreiber, former Sydney FC youth product. Well, hopefully that kneecap is okay, because that's one thing that could get moved around, the tendon. He seems to be holding the top of the kneecap, or the inside of the quad up there. There you can see it very well where the problem is. Zane Schreiber, who has 1 goal so far this season. It came in the 4-0 victory over Perth Glory. He's been in and out of the side in recent weeks as well. He started the last 2. And he's coming on to make his 50th appearance for Melbourne City in this, halfway through his 3rd season with the club.
And once again, the injury list grows for Melbourne City. Last season into this season, and this seems to be never ending.
This time it can be traced back to one specific knock as well, but he's heading straight down into the changing room. Very disappointing for Kai Truan, and let's hope that it's nothing too serious. We've got a couple of Socceroos matches coming up in a couple of months' time. That's the next March window, a 4-team tournament. The last one before Tony Popovich will announce his squad as well for the World Cup. So fingers crossed for Kai Truan. Offside against Sam Cosgrove again. Oh, high turnover, and Rogerson with a rather cheap giveaway in return. Melbourne City were scrambling. So Schreiber's gone straight into that number 6 role of Kai Truan. Here's Patrick Beach with Herman Ferreira. Back to Beach again. Bonatig. They've played their way through the press so far. Mind you, they've still got all 11 Auckland players in front of them, because they're just retreating. Haven't gone through anything yet. They've just pushed them back, which is half the battle against this Auckland side. Now Schreiber looking to get straight into the rhythm of the game. He's done well. Here's Jurakovic. Oh, he was looking for Caputo while looking with the eyes as though he was feeding Mehmeti.
Well, you could see Max Caputo just after that just said, yeah, that was a good ball. Didn't really expect it. Wasn't thinking that was coming to him.
And City build up again from the back. While they've got the ball, we might head back down to Jake on the sidelines. Jake, have you got an update for us on...
Well, Robbie, I just spoke to the Melbourne City physio. He just said the knock on Kai's knee was just causing way too much pain. He couldn't get any power out of his legs, and they just didn't want to take the risk. So be very interesting to see now on Ryan Teague's journey tonight. I'm not sure he would have been planned to play the full 90 minutes, guys. So it'll be interesting to see how many minutes they get out of him now that Kai Churun's gone down.
That's a good call, Jake. They do have Andreas Kuhn on the bench, who clearly is not fit enough for the full 90. But he will be one option. Zane Schreiber, we know, can play that role for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Ferreira with Schreiber. Back again. Again, you can see how hard that Auckland side worked. They give nothing away. Bajic. It's a good cross towards the back post. De Vries is there. Randall heads clear. Ferreira with that initial header. And Schreiber covers up.
Well, I think that's how Melbourne City can get some joy. We saw how compact, and we've seen it again. Look how compact Auckland are over to that side of the field. All 11 players across in that half. If they can get it out and get it across to the other side. And talk about the injury list. Samuel Soprano and Matt Leckie looking on and wondering how long it's going to be until they're back out there.
Soprano, who's been in and out of the team, first injured his hamstring in Asia, because let's not forget they've been playing in the Asian Champions League as well. 2 more games against Korean opposition coming up in mid-February to finish off the league phase, where they are looking good for qualification for the last 16. Samuel Soprano, just 5 appearances in the A-League out of 13 so far. Matt Leckie, only 3. Gallegos. And he brings a bit of steel to that midfield.
Well, it has been a real battle in the midfield, hasn't it? Lots of pressure.
One shot so far. And that from Auckland. And nothing on target for the moment. Randall with De Vries. Now Gallegos again. And he's done well. And so did Ryan Teague. Stuck to it. It has been a positive Auckland. You can see a side that do have confidence at the moment. A win of 3 consecutive matches, a run of 3 consecutive wins rather, was followed by that loss to their new nemesis, Newcastle, at home. They've lost both home matches to Newcastle this season, still undefeated away. Then a draw with MacArthur, and then that 2-0 victory over Brisbane. But perhaps one might say it was a Brisbane side really with nothing left to give, running on fumes, and they had it, wouldn't say easier, but as it's a long ball, will be claimed by Beach. But perhaps Auckland's form not as strong as everyone has been making out.
Well, I think you should tread carefully, Robbie. We heard Chiefy say that Auckland had an easier start to their season last year, and Bimby didn't quite like that.
I'm saying they could have been, before Brisbane, they were winless in 2, with a loss in MacArthur, for a side leading the way.
Still haven't lost back-to-back games, though, have they?
Not lost, but they did go back-to-back without a win. But they are a very good side as well. Melbourne City on the front foot. A heavy touch, a rare one from Aziz Bayich, but he works hard to get it back.
Well, what about the battle between Sakai and Bates? They're two who will not let the other one get on top of them. Long distinguished careers, and they are the epitome of a fullback, aren't they? Both of them head-to-head tonight.
Bonatig with Beach, probably the two best fullbacks in the league. And Aziz Bayich has been outstanding this season as well. Had a little DOMS problem, a little stiffness, soreness problem at the start of the season when he'd just come back late to pre-season. They were playing in Asia as well. Free kicks taken quickly. Mehmeti hasn't seen much of the ball so far. Medad Mehmeti. Here's Bonatig. Atkinson gets it back from Teague. Ferreira with Beach. Atkinson wanted it back again. You can see how hard it is. Every pass has to be perfect. They're being tracked. The pressure is on every single time.
Well, both these teams defensively are really leading the way. Obviously, Sydney FC are not giving us away as many goals as the rest of the league, but these two teams defensively are so hard to break down. It's going to take, you feel, something really extraordinary to break the deadlock tonight, or a mistake, but we very rarely see them make mistakes in their back third. And this midfield battle is just bodies everywhere, isn't it? Aggression.
Jurakovic just brought in Rogerson and took the ball away to draw the foul. And now City will have their chance to deliver a good set piece here. There you can see Auckland. Normally Melbourne City are one of the top sides in that department as well, and they're being outplayed at the moment. And this has been one of the things that Aurelio Vidmar has been bemoaning as well, is just this lack of, it's not a lack of energy, but it's a lack of coherence. Things just not clicking at the moment. Atkinson gives the signal, leaves it. Bayich whips it in at pace as well. Headed by Vestrata. Teague missed it, brought down Randall. Bayich again, but Sakai read that situation perfectly. Rogerson invites De Vries forward. Here they come, Auckland. Plenty of numbers forward as well, and Francis De Vries just didn't want to get rid of the ball. Randall with Gygos. He can turn and cross towards Cosgrove. Slices off the thigh of Liam Bonatig.
Well, just a little bit more penalty box action in the last minute or so. When we talk about Melbourne City's failure to score, or difficulties to score, these two sit in the top four, along with Western Sydney and Newcastle, as most touches in the opposition box. And you talk about how much possession Melbourne City have, how they move the ball around, but once it gets into that box, it's a different story.
Jesse Randall takes it short with De Vries. Now Randall into the area. Jesse Randall. Well, he got hold of that. It's a really good stop from Patrick Beach.
Well, again, Auckland take two out. Melbourne City only take one. And it's one that you'd expect Patrick Beach to save. Just to his right. It's coming quickly. But they're a little slow, Melbourne City, to react. It's not as though Auckland were running out quick to get out there either. They're just sauntering out. Now they've finally woken up.
Once bitten, twice shy. Melbourne City defensively. This time they go long back post. Oh, and Cosgrove almost got free. And again, you can see just the ball getting caught up in the wind, how hard it was for everyone to try and predict where it was going to land.
Well, in his efforts to lose Andrew Naboo, he just lost the track of the ball, didn't he?
Nine minutes to go. Plenty of food for thought for that man, Aurelio Vidmar. Coach of the Melbourne City side is just misfiring at the moment. The champions, they were outstanding in the final series. It was the defence that got them across the line in the grand final as well. They've had an excellent campaign in Asia. Strata, Gallegos, he's been really lively so far. Felipe Gallegos in the middle of the park. Now Sakai looks long. Cosgrove, here's Lockie Brooke with Randall. Brooke, oh, great turn. Ferreira adapts, adjusts, and makes the challenge and wins the goal kick. Melbourne City, who are back on the road next week. MacArthur away, and Sydney Southwest, and then Wellington Phoenix, and then Western Sydney. So 3 matches on the road before it's the third and final Melbourne derby of the season on the 21st of February, that one. Before these two meet again in Auckland in the final weekend of February. Auckland have the Mariners and then Perth before that double-header across 10 days against Sydney FC. One that many are tipping already to have a huge bearing, those 2 matches against Sydney FC, on who could go on to win the Premier's Plate. Great switch for De Vries. Naboo working back. Jesse Randall, he's so quick. Cosgrove. Did it go out? Not once, but twice it looked like, and in the end, the free kick goes against Ferreira, and he and Cosgrove want to have a couple of words as well, and it's Felipe Gallegos, who's normally one of the hotter heads out there, as peacemaker.
Well, we said neither would take a backward step. I must admit, I thought the ball had gone out when we first saw it, probably the angle we're at, and then, yeah, you see this little stand on the hand there. The dark arts.
Yeah, but also dangerous dark arts from Ferreira. Cosgrove got his head on that as well against Caputo. Well, that would have been the best answer. And you've got to be careful doing things like that. It didn't look like there was much force on it, and Cosgrove didn't make too much more of it, but if he decided to, Ferreira could have found himself in a bit of hot water.
And just watch the right boot there. There is, and you know what, I think as he was doing it, he realised I shouldn't be doing this, and he didn't put the pressure down that he could have. I think it was a split second that he realised, I need to stop here.
Well, we knew that would be one to keep an eye on, and those two are never far from each other. And like the good striker he is with 5 goals. Cosgrove wants the ball every time. Keep it coming. The battle is on. Estrada, good strength. Did that come off the arm of Jurakovic? Perhaps the referee was unsided. Brook, and now Randall. The ball back for Lockie Brook, and now Rogerson still looking for his first goal of the season. He's the only player in that Auckland forward line yet to break his duck. More good defending though.
Well, that was almost a real snapshot of the game so far. A real tussle in midfield, and then Auckland break free under heavy pressure, and it's the first real chance. But as is Bajic, as always, is there to deny.
And there's another flashpoint in there. Naboot, who's doing the marking on Cosgrove, and the referee wants to have a word to Andrew Naboot and Sam Cosgrove. A little smile from Cosgrove. You can see why. He's got a big height advantage there. Naboot's trying to stick with him. Ball in is a dangerous one off the crossbar. Goodness me. It really looks like the conditions are treacherous for goalkeepers out there.
Well, with all the bodies as well. He just gets it wrong, doesn't he, Patrick Beach? We saw Cosgrove just missed the flight. Well, he was nowhere near that, was he?
It was Logan Rogerson who was sitting underneath the flight of the ball that was hoping to get the touch off his head, only to see it taken away by the crossbar. It's a 4th effort though. A 4th effort at goal. Oh, and goodness me, this is not good for Hiroki Sakai, who's had hamstring problems already this season. The shake of the head as we see that one off the crossbar again. Beach is really in no man's land there. I think again it's the flight of the ball with the wind.
Yeah, it must be. He was so far from that.
There is Sakai, and that is going to be the end of the road for Hiroki Sakai. So Sam Cosgrove is having a lengthy discussion there with Steve Corica. Let's have a look. There's the leap. Is that where he felt it go? It is. A little limp out of that and immediately to ground. So Callan Elliott, who's been Sakai's body double for much of this season, is back in again. It's a blow for Auckland. It's a blow for Hiroki Sakai. But opportunity beckons for Callan Elliott, who's another. When we think about the World Cup, he's another we'll be hoping to make the most of these opportunities, particularly when at the end of the last season with Wellington Phoenix back in 2022, he was without a club for a little while. Cosgrove, defensive header. Now he's right back in the frame, Callan Elliott. Bajic, that was missed by Cosgrove. Bajic, the cross in. Dan Hall is there. And now Melbourne City's turn to try and create something from a long throw. Bajic's ball is a good one. It's Cosgrove there again. Ferreira. Little chip, but there's nobody at the back post for Melbourne City. 7 minutes of stoppage time. We had that long injury break for Kai Truen. We just had Hiroki Sakai go off as well. We had a concussion test for Emin Jurakovic. We've had a number of stoppages. which explains the 7 minutes. And hopefully will give Melbourne City the opportunity to get a target, a shot on target, a shot at goal even in the first half, because they've got nothing at the moment. Cosgrove just out-muscled Liam Bonatig.
Well, you're right, Robbie. You haven't troubled the statisticians at all in the shots department, Melbourne City. It was the 5th for Auckland, 2nd on target for the night. There has been a real battle in midfield. So many bodies. Real physical game.
Bayich again at the heart of everything for City. Ryan Teague. He's been discreet, but good in possession. Naboo. He was looking for Schreiber. Verstrata with Rogerson. It's a good ball for Randall. He's quite isolated, but he is quick. Jesse Randall does well. Oh, it's a great ball for Lockie Brook. The little touch. And goal number 6 of the season for Lockie Brook. A cheeky little finish around Patrick Beach. Jesse Randall with the assist. He did brilliantly. And Auckland have the lead. And it's a deserved lead just before half-time.
Well, we said he's been good this year, Jesse Randall. Pineacre does wonderfully well here on the Harvey Norman replay. And when Randall picks this ball up, he looks like he's going nowhere. He's got not real much going on in front, but look at the run from Brook, and that ball is perfection on a dime. Perfectly weighted, and he's on fire, Lockie Brook. It was a wonderful run, but the pass made it, and he just had to tuck it past Patrick Beach. And you said it, Robbie, it's no more than they deserve. They have seen the better of the match. It's been a tough one, but a little bit of class from Jesse Randall opens up Melbourne City, and Lockie Brook tucks it away.
Goal number 6 for Lockie Brook. So he joins another Lockie, Rose, at the top of the goal-scoring charts. And that's a 3rd assist of the season for Jesse Randall as well. 19th goal. So they are a free-scoring side, Auckland, as well, which is something we didn't say so often last season. They were really the 1-0 specialists, goals coming in 90-plus minutes. They always managed to get the result, but here they're doing it from the front.
Well, they are. And we said there was going to be something special needed to break these defences open. Well, we saw it there.
And now we might see something at the other end. Naboo. It's well defended. Is there a high boot there from Schreiber? There is. Cosgrove. He's making a nuisance of himself this evening.
Well, he has a habit of doing that, doesn't he? There's not a match that goes by where he's not niggling, involved in some of the stuff.
There's not even really a high boot in there. It's just a bit of contact after, because he was committed to that. Cosgrove, you can see how physical he is and the game he's involved in. He is sitting on 4 yellow cards. So one more as he goes looking for Herman Ferreira again.
Well, I wonder if that's why Gallegos stepped in before, knew he was on 4 cards and said, look, just leave it alone.
Mehmeti loses out to Callan Elliott. Here's Lockie Brook again. He was looking for Rogerson. He might get another chance, Lockie Brook. Against Ferreira. Still got the ball somehow. Now the cavalry arrives in the form of Callan Elliott. Verstrata. And they've probably got the best solution out of all of that, Auckland. Pineacre with De Vries. They work it from right to left. We've still got a couple of minutes left in this half, and the referee could add on even a little bit more than the 7 minutes, because we've had a goal as well. Caputo, the latest player to go down. Pineacre claiming it was all ball. Certainly looks strong. Here's Ferreira. So 1 minute left in the 7. Added on. It's another little misunderstanding. Bonatig's ball for Bajic. Bonatig, who got an absolute roasting from Aziz Bajic. As the ball hit the back of the net, it's given away cheaply. Here's Randall again to his compere in attack, Lockie Brook. They settle it down again. And this really has been the flex from Auckland in this opening half of football here against the reigning champions, no less, of Melbourne City. Elliott taking on Mehmeti. Still going, but can't quite keep it in. Well, it's a shame we're not going to see that Bajic-Sakai battle continue into the second half, but it has been a really intriguing match of football so far between the reigning champions and the league leaders. And the form is reading true after the first half. Jesse Randall's assist for Lockie Brook's 6th goal of the season. They did have to wait. It came in the 2nd minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half, but it's a deserved lead against a Melbourne City side who managed just 1 shot in that entire half of football. At the break at Amy Park, it's Auckland leading Melbourne City by 1-0.
Lockie Brook, the goal scorer, his 6th of the campaign for Auckland. The difference, Aurelio Vidmar will have to find a magic formula at half-time to get his side. Melbourne City back into the contest. Don't go anywhere. The half-time show coming up right after this short break.
Are you Australia's safest driver? All Aussie drivers 18 years and over can take the AIMI driving test now for your chance to win big prizes. Follow the QR code below for your chance to win. For full terms and conditions, see amy.com.au/AIMI driving test.
A-League ladder leaders. Auckland going about their merry business. They lead a goal to nil. They're in control here at Amy Park. Melbourne City need to find that formula. Just one win in their last 6 coming into this one. Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show. Thomas Sorrison and Archie Thompson join me. Gents, it's been a tough first half of football. Tough for the conditions, Thomason. As a goalkeeper yourself, you're telling me just how difficult it can be. And we saw just behind us how difficult it was for Melbourne City's goalkeeper.
Yeah, Patrick Breach struggled with one of the crosses that hit the bar. And in general, the players have struggled. It's really difficult, and that's the quality has lacked, but Auckland take nothing away. I think they've been physical, they've been on top, and then the 2 players we talked about before the game, Randall and Brooke, they set that goal up brilliantly.
Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman highlights, Archie, and as we've said, Auckland have created the best of the chances, and the goal that they created, Lachlan Brooke, what impressed me most was this action here, 2v1. Jesse Randall somehow manages to find the space and the composure to find this pass.
Well, this is something that's really improved in his game, is that when he's running down a channel and he sees that it's blocked, he cuts back in, he assesses where the next pass is going to be, but you need your players to make forward runs. And it was Lockie Brooke. I mean, how many times have we seen this year where Randall's got the ball, cuts inside, and there's always a forward runner. I think with Auckland, I love the way that they play the ball in the Cosgrove. Okay, it only happened a couple of times, but when they play it in the Cosgrove, he lays it off, and then immediately see the wide players try to make that run in behind. But I tell you what, there's nothing better than seeing a Jesse Randall in full flight. He has got some pace.
Yeah, but from a Melbourne City perspective, this goal should never have happened. You know, they should have covered it. Bonnetti doesn't see the runner, so disappointing from their point of view.
Here are the stats at half-time, and look at the expected goals for Melbourne City. They're not expected to score. They need to find something. Final third entries as well, pretty even, but Auckland have been dominating this contest, and here are some of the other chances they created in that first half.
Yeah, and a couple of times, you know, Melbourne City fell asleep at these corners. Patrick Breach made a great save, but they managed to use a 2v1 situation and get shots in. You know, here again with Cosgrove, he's always a handful, he's physical, he's bullying people. And yeah, you know, they were always the likely team to score. We'll probably see here Patrick Breach, that's the one a little bit too aggressive, but because the wind swirls, sometimes it stops, sometimes it floats, and he just gets caught out. And you know, Cosgrove here, I think he's been a revelation, and especially in these conditions. He's
been good, Cosgrove, too. Just the work off the ball that he does as well. And defensively, Archie, we've seen him defend really well as well. So.
I think it's the whole Auckland side. I mean, you look at Melbourne City and why they move the ball from one side to the next and try to play passes into the middle of the park is because you try to open up little gaps, or you try to drag one of your opponents out of position. But the discipline of this Auckland side is that none of their players do. So it's so hard to be able to, you know, break down and try to get runs to the 18-yard box. That's probably why you see a lot of these crosses come from the wide area, sort of hopeful crosses, because of the way that Auckland is so disciplined at not allowing those little tidy runs in behind.
Let's look at some of that from Melbourne City. We've seen in the first half their patterns. They've tended to go down the left a lot. Aziz Bayet obviously is a strength for Melbourne City. They're getting down the left-hand side. Aziz is getting into those advanced positions, but the crosses, they're just not on the same wavelength.
Yeah, no end product, and that's a massive issue. You know, you got to find players, you got to get runners in there. But firstly, that first ball needs to be perfect, and they just haven't performed. Ryan Teague has looked a bit rusty. You know, I hope that they put Andreas Kuhn in, because they need a bit of quality, and they need a final ball.
All right, can Melbourne City get back into it, Archie, you reckon?
Well, it's going to be hard. I mean, they need to move the ball a lot quicker, but the discipline of this Auckland side, and they're so strong all over the park, and every time they go forward, they look dangerous. I don't know. It's going to be hard.
So injuries played a big part in that first half as well. Kai Truan and Hiroki Sakai from Auckland. This is the true one, firstly. Concern from him. Jake Barkaday spoke to the physio, said there was a knock on the knee primarily, and he really felt sore and couldn't put any pressure on it.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. You know, he's a great young player, and they need him in that midfield. And we also see Sakai go out with an injury. So it's two big players for both teams, and it's going to have an effect. But I think especially for Melbourne City, they need everyone on deck. They've had so many injuries this season, and he's just another one to the tally, Archie.
And I don't think Gallegos really touched him there. It looked like his leg kind of slipped a little bit and maybe overstretched his that knee, and hopefully it's not a medial. But Sakai, this is disappointing for Auckland, because he's starting to get into that rhythm of you know, what we're used to seeing him getting up and down that sideline. But Callie Elliott, I think he's been incredible every time he's had to go into that position. So when they lose a player, Auckland, they're always so quick and they've got so much depth, they can fill that position straight away.
All right, plenty of work to do for Melbourne. Victory at halftime in the Sheds. They trail by 1-0. Perth Glory coming up after this one against the Brisbane Roar. That's tonight at HBF Park in Perth. Then we've got the Wanderers and the Jets, the Mariners up against Macarthur. And tomorrow night, Archie, you'll be over in Adelaide for Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory. Cooper Stadium will be pumping. And then at Sydney FC and Wellington on Sunday at Allianz Stadium. As we go to the break, don't forget the Big Blue isn't far away. Next weekend here in Melbourne, it's Victory and Sydney FC.
Rollins. And it's 2 for Victory. What a header. Nikos Vergos has thundered it in.
Joe Lolly in possession. Lolly still going. He doesn't need any help. Joe Lolly, Sydney FC's man of the moment.
Welcome back to Amy Park. Auckland leading 1-0 at half-time. Can Melbourne City find a response? Kick-off of the second half isn't too far away. Thomas Sorensen, you mentioned Andreas Kuhn started on the bench today, came in with a little bit of a niggle, but he is the type of creative player that Aurelio Vidmar will be calling upon, you'd think, to get them back into this game.
Yeah, for sure. He could be a difference maker, and they just need to be braver. They need to be better on the ball, need to control these conditions, you know, to the standard that Auckland has, and then you've got to use your set plays as well. So these are the things that I'm sure they've talked about in the dressing room.
And players like Lawrence Wong, we saw last season, make an impact as well.
Yeah, no, Maceo as well, you know. So they've got young players there that can make a difference, but I think they need collectively, they need to be better. You know, they need to be sharper.
All right, let's head back to the commentary position now. Robbie Thompson with the second half.
Welcome back. Yes, thank you, Zappers, to the second half here of this match between the reigning champions, Melbourne City, and the league leaders, Auckland FC. And it is the New Zealand side leading, courtesy of their Australian striker, Lockie Brooke, with his 6th goal of the season. He joins LA Rose at the top of the scoring charts. And Melbourne City, we have seen it in recent weeks. A disappointing first half, chasing the game in the second half. And while we have seen fight backs, it hasn't always worked out for them so far once they've given their opponents an early lead. Daniel McBreen, they've done it again this evening. Auckland opening the scoring for the 10th time in 13 matches this campaign. They don't give many points away from these positions.
Well, no, they don't. They know how to get the job done, and they know how to close out games as well. And another toothless front third, really, from City, failing to register a shot on target, just the one shot in that first half, and they need it to start to click. As we said at the start of the game, we thought at the back of this 6-game period at home that we would have seen them hitting their groove, starting to move up the table. Well, it just won't sit together. That cohesion in the front third isn't there. And at times you're wondering where the goals are going to come from.
No changes to either side at half-time, but we did have one substitution apiece in the first half. Zane Schreiber coming in for the Socceroo Kai Truan in the middle of the park for Melbourne City. And for the away side, Auckland FC, they lost their captain, Hiroki Sakai, in the latter stages of that first half, as that man, Callan Elliott, came into the game at right back. Long throw from Callan Elliott. It's a very long throw as well. Good defensive header. Dan Hall looking for Atkinson. His pass just gives it straight back again. De Vries, who inherited the captain's armband off Hiroki Sakai. Lockie Brooke. Elliott with Gallegos. There you can see that Auckland 11 at the bottom of your screen. We've seen it already this season. We saw it in the derby when they had 2 players sent off. They love to defend, this Auckland side as well.
Well, we saw last season how well they could defend a 1-0 lead. It was almost their hallmark last year, wasn't it? That and late goals to get a win when they needed to.
They've only conceded 3 second-half goals all season. The fewest of anyone, as that's a great ball in from Andrew Naboot. Misjudged from Dan Hall.
There just wasn't any conviction, was there, centrally? Caputo and Mehmeti, I think it was, coming in. They just seemed to dally a little.
Here's Mehmeti again, wrestling with Rogerson. The referee didn't see a foul there. Callan Elliott cleared only as far as Schreiber. Now on the edge of the area, Ryan Teague in his first game for Melbourne City. And it's cleared, I wouldn't say panicky from De Vries, but it wasn't the most composed piece of defending either.
And Michael Vaup was calling for the ball. He didn't heed those calls.
Estrada with Rogerson. Elliott Cosgrove. And he gets the free kick. And that will help Auckland get out of a sticky little situation there. Steve Corica, who's been pretty pleased with his side's performances so far this season, but he was absolutely furious after the 2 defeats against Newcastle. He holds his side to a very high bar. Caputo, strong, but Dan Hall, quick. Now the turnover. Nathaniel Atkinson racing onto it. 4 forward for Melbourne City. The cross towards Mehmeti, and just too high. Jurakovic does well to keep it in and find support in Bajic. Excellent from Verstraete. Now Rogerson with Verstraete again. Michael Vowd with Nando Pineacre back in the side, which means Jake Girdwood-Reich, former Sydney FC man, is relegated to a place on the bench. Jake Brimmer is back on the bench as well this evening for his return to Melbourne. Good challenge, Mehmeti. Touches it off for Atkinson. De Vries has gone wandering. Pineacre has to cover. Naboot. He went for that famous outside of the boot. Now Atkinson to the back post. Caputo was there. Comfortable enough in the end for Vowd.
Well, there's more energy, a little bit more vigour for Melbourne City going forward, but that cohesion still not quite there. You could see that Andrew Naboot almost was in 2 minds on what to do. Just tried to flick the ball with the outside of the foot. You can see here, Pineacre on the back foot. It's almost, he's not real sure what he wants to do with it.
Atkinson does well. He made a positive start to the second half. And he's got his wardrobe malfunction sorted out as well with that ripped jersey that he had in the early stages of the match. Schreiber. Ferreira. Atkinson's number 13 is there. Oh, that's given away by Verstraete. You don't see that too often. Schreiber. Can they create something here? There's plenty of sky blue shirts forward. In it comes towards Caputo. Might yet break. Teague. With Bajic again. Ryan Teague. Oh, we heard he's been training the house down this week. He was been raring to go, Ryan Teague, wanting to get into the team as quickly as possible, hit the ground running. An injury to Kai Truan as well means that perhaps even a little more of him will be asked of this evening in his first appearance, but he was just a little over-eager that time. Here he is again, Teague. Atkinson has done that well. There's nobody at the back post, as is Bajic arriving belatedly. Whips it back in. First time from Teague is a good one. Oh, skewed off the boot by Pineacre.
Well, they're having to absorb the pressure now, Auckland. And a new sense of life from Melbourne City. Committing bodies forward, you see there, 4 inside the box. A real mistake from Nando Pineacre.
Just the second corner. It will be Ryan Teague, who's had the fifth most touches for a Melbourne City player so far in the match. Ball back post. Ooh, Cosgrove didn't hear the call from Vowd, but in the end the goalkeeper got it. Now Lockie Brook. Well read again by Atkinson. Oh, he lunges in. Referee allows the advantage. As the ball races away, they want it back for the free kick now.
Well, you could see Shane Skinner as the ball rolled over the sideline just shake his head a little bit and said, yeah, maybe I should have just let the advantage go, and it didn't eventuate.
And now we've got Lockie Brook, who's down. It's going back to Ryan Teague's first 54 minutes for Melbourne City. He's played the most passes into the final third of any City player. And that's 7. But fewer touches than the 4 men behind him, all 4 defenders.
It'll take a little bit of time too to settle in with his teammates. Probably worked all week on playing with next to Kai Truan. He went early, so a little adjustment there as well.
He had such a fantastic partnership with Geordie Valadon over 2 seasons for Melbourne Victory.
And I'm sure Geordie Valadon will be looking to welcome him back in the next Melbourne derby.
That one in just a month's time. Atkinson again. It has been a far more positive Melbourne City in the second half. 10 minutes gone. They're pushing, looking for an equaliser. Mehmeti, Schreiber, Jurakovic with Bajic. Atkinson. Auckland, though, that appetite for defending. And look at that from Verstraete. So strong on Schreiber. Breaking forward. Lockie Brook glides past Atkinson. Here's Randall. His first touch. Looking to turn inside Ferreira. Very good piece of defending. And he's won the goal kick.
Well, it was nice football all round, wasn't it? From the challenge from there. Verstraete, was it, in midfield? Lockie Brook, he just waltzed forward, didn't he? And then Ferreira getting back. Just when he thought Jesse Randall might have got around him, and players sitting down now. Lockie Brook's gone down. Substitutions ready to come on. It's all happening.
Yeah, we've got a Melbourne City player down on this near side. It might be Andrew Naboot. There's Lockie Brook. There's down. Double change coming for Melbourne City. Jurakovic, who took that knock on the jaw early on. He makes way for Andreas Kuhn. So that is a little more creativity and attacking prowess into the game. You can see Kai Truan sitting on the bench there as well. And it might be Andrew Naboot, the player who makes way for Ben Matseo. It is Andrew Naboot off. Matseo is lightning quick, despite a couple of injury setbacks for him this season. He will play wide on the right. Lockie Brook looks like he's got a little bit of a knee problem as well. Andrew Naboot heading straight down the tunnel as well, so that doesn't look good for Melbourne City. Lockie Brook didn't have that bandage under his right leg in the first half. At least I don't think he did.
Actually, I thought he did.
It looks like some sort of band-aid for a cut or something. Maybe it's just a nick under the knee. He's back and rejoined. Now, importantly for Melbourne City, they've used 2 windows as well. Already they've made 3 substitutions. Schreiber, Kuhn, Matseo. And they can now still make 2 more subs, but they've only got 1 window in which to do it, and we have 32 minutes left to play. So Steve Corica, everything is going according to plan for him so far. He's still got 2 transfer windows, or rather substitution windows.
He's still got this transfer window.
This one's still open. Here's Bayage. Great challenge, Rogerson. Great strength as well. You don't see Aziz Bayage knocked off the ball too often. Here's Brook. He's starting to find plenty of space in there. He looks for the pace of Randall. Atkinson almost played himself into a bit of trouble there.
He just thought he was going to just play it straight back to Patrick Beach, and then all of a sudden it got caught under his feet. He thought he'd made a bad error, but played himself out of it. It's a good battle too there, isn't it? Randall and Atkinson both very quick across the floor.
Now Ferreira with Schreiber. Mazzeo able to turn and face forward. Atkinson. Good feet. Teague. Here's Andreas Kuhn. Early touch for him. Into the feet of Mehmedi. Kuhn goes again. Looking for Caputo. He's got 3 assists so far this season. Andreas Kuhn. Here he is, the number 30, exchanging passes with Teague. Bundled over from behind by Sam Cosgrove. A little over-eager from the big defender. So keen to help preserve his side's lead.
Well, there's Andreas Kuhn getting involved right from the off. And you just have to wonder about his knee injury. He's been struggling for a few weeks. Not really able to do 90 minutes. Well, I'm sure they would have preferred not to be able to use him at all and give him a rest, but not to be. He's out there, over half an hour to go.
7 assists last season for the Austrian, as well as a few important goals. A big part of that grand final winning side. Bayage, back post, beyond everyone. Caputo gives chase. Gets there. Schreiber, Mazzeo with Teague. Schreiber, Atkinson. Good play, Melbourne City. And good defending again from Auckland. They just never panic.
Well, the substitutes have brought a little bit of energy as well, haven't they? Mazzeo, Andreas Kuhn getting on the ball. And this is what we've seen a lot of Melbourne City over the past month or so. The only problem is that 0 next to the name is what we've seen a lot as well.
This would be the 6th time in 10 matches if they failed to score. The 4th in 7 consecutive matches at their home ground, Amy Park. Now there's a head clash there between Bonnetig and Rogerson. And Rogerson is down holding the back of his head, Bonnetig the front, and that looks a bit painful for Liam Bonnetig.
Yeah, both with eyes for the ball, but he hurt a lot.
Don't forget, plenty of football coming up, obviously, in the coming weeks, but we can start this evening. Perth Glory against Brisbane. Following this one, round 13 of the Isuzu UTE A-League competition. We had a double header here at Amy Park earlier today. The Newcastle women's team getting up over Melbourne City by 3-1. And then the Asian Cup is coming in just over a month's time. Let's head back down to Jake Barker-Daish on the sidelines for us. Jake, you've got another injury update for us?
It seems like I'm doing that quite a bit tonight. A lot of players are going down with various strains and knocks, but we did see Andrew Naboo walk down the tunnel after he was substituted off, which is not really the traditional movement for coming to the bench. Usually you sit there. He did look quite distressed going down to the shed. So we'll keep an eye on him. We know his injury run of late hasn't been great, so hoping he is okay. And also Hiroki Sakai is just a safety measure, bringing him off with the hamstring.
Thank you, Jake. Nice touch. Atkinson, Schreiber. Here's Bayich. Nathaniel Atkinson is really growing into this game as well. He's taking responsibility for things out there.
Particularly in the second half, he's been great.
Matseo does well. He's made an impact. Here's Kuhn. The substitute's doing well. Oh, that's hit the hand of Francis de Vries, surely.
He looks sheepish, doesn't he?
The referee hasn't seen it, but surely VAR have. Well, they haven't had much luck with penalties, Auckland, over their A-League existence.
Well, you've never seen a guy look more sheepish and walk away from the scene of the crime than Francis de Vries on that occasion.
They still have never scored a penalty in the A-League, Auckland. They've missed their only 2 they've ever had, and that was earlier this season. The switch of play. Ooh, there's a huge clash of heads as well. Matseo and de Vries. That looked really, really violent. Let's hope it's not as serious as that looked, and let's have a look at this too.
Robbie?
Well, that's handball. That's a penalty. It's going to be a penalty awarded. I mean, the hand's away from the body. It even looks like it's on target. Now, it looks like there's a bit of blood on. There you see that again. Macca, what do you think?
I don't know. Simple answer. This I do know. Gee.
So Matteo's cut his ear there, or just above his right ear. And it looks like there's a cut for Francis de Vries as well. And there you can see VAR checking the penalty. They've just gone up on the big screen as well, that's being checked. And Matseo seems comfortable enough.
Let's have another look. He travels what, 5 metres, 4 or 5 metres, arms out to his side.
Teague running right across in front of him as well.
Oh, that was a factor earlier in the year in the Sydney Derby. We saw, was it Wellington versus Newcastle? Ball crossed from similar distance, hit the arm in a similar position, was a penalty. It's a difficult one these days to try and decide what they're going to come up with.
Well, Shane Skinner has been called to come across and have a look. The other, I mean, there's, and I know it's not always fair to stop and have a freeze frame look at the vision, but we can see at the moment, as you can as well, that that's what the referee is looking at.
Well, his arms are away. Ryan Teague runs across him. His arms are on Ryan Teague. He brings it back towards his body. They're away from his body. Hits the ball. The ball hits his hand, sorry. It's going towards goal. It's got to be a penalty, yeah, surely. We need to start getting some consistency in this.
Yeah, look, it looks pretty clear from there. It looks unlucky, unfortunate, whatever you want to say for Francis de Vries. But the arm is away from the body, the shot is on target. There you see it in real time. Even looks even more clear in real time. I wonder if Shane Skinner saw it as well. Look at the positioning of the referee in real time.
Well, are they looking at the run of Ryan Teague and the contact between the two? Is this what's the mitigating factor? Or I'm not sure.
Well, I think we're about to find out.
After on-field review, the ball strikes the arm, which is away from the body. The decision is penalty.
He's got a bit of an egg on the side of his head as well. Pretty sour 2.5 minutes for Francis de Vries. Oh, look at that egg into the eye as well. Yeah. So he's taken a real battering. That was a really tough collision with Ben Mazzeo. And now Max Caputo is going to have the opportunity from the penalty spot to get his 6th of the season, to join Lockie Brook and Lockie Rose at the top of the scoring charts. There you see, left or right, 50-50 from his previous 2 in the A-League. Max Caputo. He's a young man with broad shoulders. He's been called upon to score important goals for his club. He's been criticised this season, and now he steps up and keeps his cool and scores from the spot. Melbourne City are back on level terms. Melbourne City are on the scoreboard, and it hasn't always been pretty this evening, but they won't care one iota.
Well, to be fair to Melbourne City, it was off the back of a 5-10 minute period where they had elevated their game. They had injected a little bit of intensity into their attacking play, and the right decision was made. It's a penalty, handball on the Harvey Norman replay. It's going towards goal, the hand's away from the body, and the referees have got that right. And then it's calm and composed from Max Caputo to join at the top of the goal scorers charts. Brings Melbourne City level.
Fantastic stats for the young Socceroo. Not released by Melbourne City to go to the Asian Cup. On at the moment, Yaya Dekuli and Matthias McAllister getting the goals as Australia came from behind to defeat Iraq and finish top of their group. They're into the next round. Triple change has just been made by Auckland as well. Guillermo Mai, Jake Brimmer and Girdwood Reich all into the action. There is Jake Girdwood Reich. Now, Guillermo Mai scored in both matches, the Uruguayan forward, last season. He's played more of a second fiddle behind Sam Cosgrove this season. Nice play, Atkinson again. Kuhn, the little push. Mehmeti's shot. Auckland absolutely furious that there was no free kick awarded for the foul. What they thought was a foul by Andreas Kuhn. It's all happening at the moment. Can City maintain their momentum? Andreas Kuhn against Girdwood Reich. Double team by Brimmer. The 2 substitutes. And we have more changes coming as well. The final changes for Melbourne City. Lawrence Wong and Alessandro Lapane coming on to replace the goal scorer Max Caputo, and also Ryan Teague, who got through 72 minutes on debut, the Socceroo, for his new side on loan till the end of the season. From Mechelen in the Belgian top flight. Melbourne City looking to come from behind and finish the job now. Matseo, the shot, oh, just wide from Atkinson. Well, his second half performance so far almost deserves a goal.
Yeah, he's been good. And the crowd are behind them now. Their tails are up. Look at the bodies forward, and it just agonisingly creeps past the post. See there, Auckland legs stuck out. They could have gone anywhere.
For a long time, it looked like it was going in as well. So here is Jake Girdwood-Reich, a move to 3 at the back. De Vries is still out there, as is Callan Elliott. So Auckland not necessarily looking to shore things up, I think. Just try and get wingers high, try and exploit a little bit more of this Melbourne City side, try and turn things around. And they've been against the tide so far in this second half.
Well, we've seen Steve Corica go to a back 3 on a number of occasions this year. First it was Pineacker coming on, now it's Girdwood-Reich.
Matseo with Shriver. Here's Lopane into the feet of Mehmeti. Atkinson again. Great little ball over the top for Bajic. Perfectly weighted. Bajic against Elliott. The cross in. Oh, Girdwood-Reich almost made that more difficult for Dan Hall. Here's Lockie Brook. Auckland still have one more substitution up their sleeve. Free kick goes City's way. And now Bajic wants to get things going with Girdwood-Reich. All fighting over the ball. City trying to take it quickly. The crowd in the front rows there enjoying the show. Oh, look at that. Talk about walking wounded. Francis de Vries.
Well, Girdwood-Reich, it's not his free kick, so he needs to just leave the ball alone. I don't think Azzo's Bajic has done anything wrong. He wants to get the ball, he wants to get the game going. They've got the momentum. Girdwood-Reich, don't touch the ball, go away.
Well, they've both gone into the book. Yellow cards for Jake Girdwood-Reich. He hasn't been on the field all that long, about 4.5 minutes. So free kick. Melbourne City, as is Bajic. Nathaniel Atkinson and Andreas Kuhn are the two Melbourne City players under threat of a suspension if they pick up a yellow card today. Bajic delivers low and hard. Cleared by Jake Brimmer. Atkinson with Patrick Beach, who's good with the ball at feet, but Guillermo Maia with a good press. Needed a little bit more support from his teammates. Brimmer, who's picked up the captain's armband since he's come on. Elliott. Good pressure from Lawrence Wong. Oh, and a heavy touch from Verstraete. And the referee is doing well at the moment to keep a lid on things, because you just get the feeling it's starting to fray around the edges a little bit.
It's getting a little tense. Melbourne City can feel that they're starting to wrestle this game. Opportunities are going to fall more their way. It was Auckland in the first half, as the game wound on towards the end of that first half, that just started to get control, and you felt that they were the one who were going to take away this game. Well, they've turned that around, Melbourne City. Substitutions have brought energy, they're moving the ball a bit quicker, and I think Auckland can sense that this game in 3 points is going to be very difficult.
Oh, he's done very well. Here's Lockie Brook. Ferreira looking to make up for his initial mistake. Now Randall. Auckland. A rare sortie forward in this second half. Ferreira, who was caught on the ball by Lockie Rose last weekend for Newcastle's winner. He almost got caught out again there.
He just dallied again, didn't he? And all of a sudden, we're down the other end.
Auckland's only shot of the second half came a minute after the restart. Atkinson's won the throw. Well, while Aurelio Vidmar will be happy with his side's fight back, he must again be asking himself why it's so hard for the champions to put two complete halves of football together. Girdwood Wright gets there as his Baich was steaming forward again down that left-hand side. It's a good ball in behind. Ooh, Andreas Kuhn.
Yeah, Andreas Kuhn lashed out at Girdwood Wright before the ball came and then thought about doing it again. There's a bit of feeling out there in this one now.
10 minutes to go. A big 10 minutes to come. At the moment, Auckland will be within Sydney's sights. Just 3 points clear. It looked like they could be moving 5 points clear. City have just the 1 point that sees them climb one spot to fourth. Here's Wong. Back with Baich again. Lawrence Wong takes the touch, drives it in hard. Might get another opportunity. Well defended, Callan Elliott. City have had all the possession in the second half, 70%. That's a good ball for Baich. He might get there yet. Baich does so. Medin Mehmeti with his first goal of the season. He won't score a more simple one. Hats off Aziz Baich. The tireless veteran was instrumental again. And Aurelio Vidmar, well, now he can really celebrate this second half. 9 minutes to go. They have their noses in front.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, it's a great run from Aziz Baich and the ball from Nathaniel Atkinson, who has been outstanding in the second half. Now, we thought that was a heavy touch. Michael Vowd has to come there, but he doesn't. Aziz Baich squares the ball. There's the touch. That was the opportunity there. But look at Mehmeti. He's making ground in the middle. He wants the goal. And for the first time in 2 months, they have two in a game. And could it be the sealer for 3 points? They've come from behind. Auckland, they usually know how to keep a lead, but not tonight. Melbourne City coming home strong.
Medin Mehmeti, 5 goals last year. Oh, and we're just checking for a potential offside here.
Well, they'll have to check Aziz Baich, right? But he looked like
check is done.
Yeah, it looked like he timed it to perfection.
Auckland have only lost twice this season. They are undefeated away from home. For now, at least, Verstraete does well. Fouled by Kuhn. Here's Girdwood Wright. Well, they've gone from looking for a winner with those substitutions from Steve Corica to now looking for an equaliser. And the time that was their ally when they started the second half is now their enemy. Atkinson and Baich, the two. Well, I'm not sure Atkinson really fits into the veteran category, but he has experience. He's a Joe Marston medalist. but he and Aziz Bayic have been outstanding in the second half.
Well, that they have. You know, we expected every minute of the match from Aziz Bayic. He's such a competitor. We spoke about the battle with Sakai in the first half. And this second half,
Good for Drake with the most unconventional header out of defence. He did well though. Now Verstraeta's been caught by Wong. There's the step, and the heel studs. They had a bit more than the ball of the foot studs as well. Right down the foot of Verstraeta. That's a good ball. De Vries looking back. Atkinson intercepts. Lopane gives it back though. Brimmer with Randall. Jake Brimmer again. Good switch. Callan Elliott. They need to get Lockie Brook onto the ball again. They need to get Guillermo Mai into the game.
well, for most of the second half, it's the need to get on the ball. Melbourne City have been so energetic.
They have it now into the final third. Verstraeta. Oh, for Callan Elliott, who didn't read the situation at all, didn't know what to do with it. And in the end, just nods it out. 5 minutes to go. Steve Corica. Last season, he would have banked on his side to turn this around in the final minutes. How impossible to predict is this A-League season. Seriously, you have a side in Auckland that are just looking as though they're getting stronger and stronger with each outing. Can move 5 points clear at the top against a Melbourne City side who have been barely able to put one foot in front of the other for the past month and a half. The first half went according to that script before the A-League gods, as is their wont, decided to flip the switch. Matseo, Schreiber leaves it. Bonatic, Schreiber again. Oh, does look a little bit nervy. Zane Schreiber, it's not the same solidity that Kai Truan brings you in there. Here he is again, the talented youngster with Lopane. Atkinson gets it back from Lopane. Lawrence Wong making the run, gets there. Little touch off Schreiber. Wong again. See those blue shirts swarming around the ball. It's like a reversal of fortunes. There is the Paramount Plus player index. It's been so tight. Mehmeti and Brook, the goal scorers, leading the way. Atkinson, Jesse Randall and Herman Ferreira. For the moment, Mehmeti, a match winner. Pineacre turns all the way back to Vout. Again, the press coming from Kuhn. Dan Hall. Almost played himself into a cul-de-sac. Pineacre looks long for Lockie Brook. It's a wasted effort. And they really look like a pale version of themselves, this Auckland side, compared to what we normally see.
Well, that they do. I think a lot of that's down to the energy from Melbourne City, and they lose that ball. The light blue shirts that surround the Auckland players, flying into tackles still. The substitutes have brought energy. Nathaniel Atkinson, Aziz Bayic driving from the back.
He has a fantastic leap Ben Matseo. That was quite spectacular how he managed to keep that in. In the end, though, Auckland have it back again. They need the ball up the other end of the pitch. Just over a minute left in the 90. Verstrata. Brimmer. Verstrata again. Now Lockie Brook, the danger man for this Auckland side. He's got Randall ahead of him. Lockie Brook still going on, and he completely misses his pass. Well, it's the player you would want in that exact situation, and his touch deserted him. And that's been the story of this second half. Atkinson, Schreiber. Bajic. What a shot in the arm this will be for Melbourne City's season. This will see them climb up to third place on 20 points if it stays like this. Verstrata, he's given it away again. Matseo is quick. That's going to be Atkinson's throw. Well, I wouldn't say best match this season for Nathaniel Atkinson, but certainly best half. This second half, he's been outstanding.
Yes, he has. He has been one of the players who has led the charge.
Francis de Vries makes way. So the final substitution of this match, Marley Francois, an attacking option for Auckland. De Vries, battered and bloodied, heads to the bench. We've had so many injuries in this match. Let's hope that none of them are too serious. Ferreira, strong. Here's Schreiber, he does well with Bajic. City would dearly love another goal at this stage, just to allow them to breathe a little easier. 7 more minutes after a couple more long stoppages, so Auckland with plenty of time. Brimmer with the switch, but Elliott won't get there. We normally talk about the consistency of this Auckland FC side. Feels a little bit strange to have seen 2 halves of football so markedly different from Steve Corica's team.
Well, I'd be interested to know what Aurelio Vetmar said at half-time, because it's had the desired effect. A completely different team, full of energy, full of running. And Auckland have really struggled to get on the ball, keep possession for one, but do anything meaningful with it on top of that. And still the City press continues.
Verstrata. Well, not allowed to play the ball on the ground. He went to ground too easily. Kuhn wants to take it quickly. Wong's run. Kuhn thought about taking it quickly, but it's all just fun and games, because if there's one free kick Melbourne City won't be taking quickly, it's any free kick from now on. Matseo will keep it in. Under pressure from Francois, but he takes it to the corner flag. Oh, he's done well. Good turn. Lopane now. Nice feet as well from Alessandro Lopane. City substitutes doing ever so well. Schreiber. Matseo again. It's come off Brimmer. Might have been a hand as well. I think it's a throw-in, though, for Melbourne City. Verstrata, no free kick. Well played, Bonating. A little touch for Mehmeti. He's gone into that central striking role since Caputo went off. And he was rewarded with his goal. Bonating. Don't want to get caught that high up the pitch. The centre back giving the ball away. Oh, and there could be trouble here. Randall. He's got Guillermo Mai and Elliott in the middle. Randall is quick. Still Randall, the cutback. And guess who? Nathaniel Atkinson. Celebrated by his teammates as if he'd scored a goal himself.
Yeah. It says all, didn't it, the celebration. Now, as you look here, look at the back post. They all come to the near post, a little dink to the back post, and you can see the desperation. But Nathaniel Atkinson, what a recovery run.
First corner of this second half for Auckland. Randall, in it comes, good ball as well. Pineacre was there. Randall again. Left foot cross into the dangerous area and completely unmarked. Dan Hall from 6 yards out heads over.
Well, he got up well, didn't he? Jesse Randall does well again. It goes into a great area. He just gets up and he's just a little bit underneath it, isn't he? Can't quite get over the ball.
The two coaches. It's been a real tactical battle, the first half and the second. Two very contrasting styles of play. Lockie Brook. Now, Francois gets the cross in near post. Jesse Randall with the header and saved by Patrick Beach. Well, that would have been a remarkable goal.
Well, did he get a touch on it? It's great work from Francois. I think he just misses it, doesn't he? If he gets a touch on that, the slightest of touches, and that could have been the equaliser. Well, they're not going to die wondering, are they?
Every ball is still being contested. The bandages are blowing in the wind. Every ounce of energy has been given. Ben Matseo is trying to hide the bandage as it unravels off the top of his head, in behind his jersey. Well, once again, an A-League match has had just about everything. Lopane with Cohen. Francois trying to get it clear. Mehmeti with the big hook over the head, the Hail Mary. Michael Vowd, huge kick upfield, massive kick. In the end, too big. That must have gone nearly 80 metres.
I thought it was going out the stadium. It went so high and so far. Too far, in essence.
Yeah, in the end, it's a wasted ball, isn't it? The 7 minutes of stoppage time are up. Melbourne City's fans baying for the final whistle. They haven't had much to cheer about in recent weeks. But they can cheer about this. In a run of 7 consecutive home matches, they have finally managed to pick up for this just the second time maximum points. They did it the hard way. Auckland dominant in the opening 45 minutes, led courtesy of Lockie Brooks' 6th goal of the season. But it was a different Melbourne City that came out for the second half. Aurelio Vidmar's side dug deep and rediscovered some of the values that took them to the title last season. A Max Caputo penalty, his 6th goal of the season, and then a first of the campaign for Medin Mehmeti in the 81st minute, securing all 3 points. So many big performances, as is Bayage, but Nathaniel Atkinson as well for Melbourne City with a massive knock. Full time at Amy Park, and the league leaders have been knocked off for just the third time this season. It's finished Melbourne City 2, Auckland 1.
Well, that could be a season-defining win for Melbourne City. Come from behind 1-0 down at half-time, and then Nathaniel Atkinson sparked them into action. What a response from Melbourne City. Exactly what the doctor needed. Just one win from their last 6 coming into